girls. We're on chapter 4. And do you remember Nigel's friend, Jean-Louis? Well, he fell down while I was showing you the last picture, and he got a little disgruntled, so he went to take a nap. But Nigel doesn't want to miss a word of the story, and he said he'll tell his friend all about it. So we're on chapter 4, the Whiff-Waff. When at last I could look around me, I found that the hall was indeed simply full of animals. It seemed to me that almost every kind of creature from the countryside must be there. A pigeon, a white rat, an owl, a badger, a jackdaw. There was even a small pig, just in from the rainy garden, carefully wiping his feet on the mat, while the light from the candle glistened on his wet pink back. The doctor took the candlestick from the duck and turned to me. "Look here," he said. "You must get those wet clothes off. By the way, what is your name?" "Tommy Stubbins," I said. "Oh, are you the son of Jacob Stubbins, the shoemaker?" "Yes," I said. "Excellent bootmaker, your father," said the doctor. "You see these?" And he held up his right foot to show me the enormous boots he was wearing. "Your father made me these boots 4 years ago, and I've been wearing them ever since. Perfectly wonderful boots." "Well, now, look here, Stubbins. You've got to change those wet things, and quick. Wait a moment till I get some more candles lit, and then we'll go upstairs and find some dry clothes. You'll have to wear an old suit of mine till I can get yours dry again by the kitchen fire." So presently, when more candles had been lit round different parts of the house, we went upstairs, and when we had come into a bedroom, the doctor opened a big wardrobe and took out 2 old suits of clothes. These we put on. Then we carried our wet ones down to the kitchen and started a fire in the big chimney. The coat of the doctor's that I was wearing was so large for me that I kept treading on my own coattails while I was helping to fetch the wood up from the cellar. But very soon we had a huge big fire blazing up the chimney, and we hung our wet clothes around on chairs. "Now let's cook some supper," said the doctor. "You'll stay and have some supper with me, Stubbins, of course." Already I was beginning to be very fond of this funny little man who called me Stubbins instead of Tommy or Little Lad. I did so hate to be called Little Lad. This man seemed to begin right away treating me as though I were a grown-up friend of his. And when he asked me to stop and have some supper with him, I felt terribly proud and happy. But I suddenly remembered that I had not told my mother that I would be out late. So very sadly I answered, "Thank you very much. I would like to stay, but I'm afraid that my mother will begin to worry and wonder where I am if I don't get back." "Oh, but my dear Stubbins," said the doctor, throwing another log of wood on the fire, "your clothes aren't dry yet. You'll have to wait for them, won't you? By the time that they're ready to put on, we will have supper cooked and eaten. Did you see where I put my bag?" "I think it's still in the hall," I said. "I'll go and see." I found the bag near the front door. It was made of black leather and looked very, very old. One of its latches was broken, and it was tied up around the middle with a piece of string. "Thank you," said the doctor when I brought it to him. "Was that bag all the luggage you had from your voyage?" I asked. "Yes," said the doctor, as he undid the piece of string. "I don't believe in a lot of luggage. It is such a nuisance. Life is too short to fuss with it. And it isn't really necessary, you know. Where did I put those sausages?" The doctor was feeling about inside the bag. First he brought out a loaf of new bread. Next came a glass jar with a curious metal top to it. He held this up to the light very carefully before he set it down upon the table, and I could see that there was some strange little water creature swimming inside. Well, at last the doctor brought out a pound of sausages. "Now," he said, "all we want is a frying pan." We went to the scullery, and there we found some pots and pans hanging against the wall. The doctor took down the frying pan. It was quite rusty on the inside. "Dear me, just look at it," he said. "That's the worst of being away so long. The animals are very good, and keep the house wonderfully clean as far as they can. Dab is a perfect marvel as a housekeeper, but some things, of course, they can't manage. Never mind, we'll soon clean it up. You'll find some silver sand down there under the sink, Stubbins. Just hand it up to me, will you? In a few moments we had the pan all shiny and bright. Then the sausages were put over the kitchen fire, and a beautiful frying smell wafted through the house. While the doctor was busy at cooking, I went and took another look at the funny little creature swimming around in the glass jar. "What is this animal?" I asked. "Oh, that," said the doctor, turning round. "That's a whiff-waff. Its full name is Hippocampus pipitopatus, but the natives just call it a whiff-waff on account of the way it waves its tail, swimming. I imagine. That's what I went on this last voyage for, to get that. You see, I am very busy just now trying to learn the language of the shellfish. They have languages, of that I feel sure. I can talk a little shark language and porpoise dialect myself, but what I particularly want to learn now is shellfish. Why, I ask? Well, you see, some of